Hi guys, the day has finally come where we can read Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare, okay? And for those who don't know, how would you not know? But for those who don't know, Lady Midnight is the next installment in the Shadowhunter Chronicle series. You would know them as Mortal Instruments and Infernal Devices, Bane Chronicles, Tales of Shadowhunter Academy, and now Lady Midnight with the Dark Artifices. I cannot pronounce that. The first part of this video is going to be spoiler free, so if you've not read the book, you can still watch the first part of this video, and then I will tell you when to leave. If you've not read this book, you should just read a book then, and come back. I gave this 3 stars on Goodreads. That sounds maybe not much, but I don't feel I gave it a low rating. I would actually give it not just 3 stars, I would give it 3.5 stars, but it's not possible to do that on Goodreads. So yeah, I am rating this book 3.5 stars. But I did, even though it didn't sound like it, actually enjoy this book quite a lot. I just it didn't wow me to death. I enjoyed it, I liked it, I could talk a lot of positive things about it, and I'm gonna go into why I gave the rating I gave in this video. So let's just get started, yeah? The Dark Artifices, let's just call it Lady Midnight, okay? Lady Midnight starts off 5 years after the Mortal Instruments. We are after the Dark War, we are with new characters, we are not with Jace and Clary and Simon and Isabel and Oleg and all those people anymore. We are in Los Angeles, not in New York. We are with America Stairs with her Parabotai, I always said Parabotai. I think it's wrong. So we met Emma and Julian in the last Mortal Instruments book, City of Heavenly Fire, and we already knew that Lady Midnight, or the Dark blah 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 blah, was gonna be about them. The book the conflict in the book, or like the plot of the book, is that Emma still wants to find out who murdered her parents, which died before the Dark War in City of Heavenly Fire. She wants to find out what happened to them, she wants to punish the killers. At the same time, the Blackthorn children are struggling with the fact that they can't be with their sister Helen and the brother Mark, who was taken by the wild hunt by the fairies. By fairy? I don't even know. Emma's parents was killed in a special way 5 years ago. And now suddenly those killings starts again, and also a few fairies were killed, and then the fairies come to Julian and the Blackthorn children and Emma and tell them, find out who the killer is and you will maybe get Mark back. And that basically what pulls the story off. I loved these characters. In the beginning I thought all the Blackthorn kids, they were so confusing, it was too many of them, but after a while I got used to them. I saw the differences in each of the characters and I just loved them. I loved all of them, okay? And I loved Emma. As we know, Cassandra Clare switched between different point of views, so it's not like you're not in the same head all the time. Even though Emma was the main character in Lady Midnight, we still got to see other characters like Julian, and it was really nice. So, I just think that the book was weak because it was a bit too long. Like, I don't mind long books, and I really liked that it was long because it lasted longer, but I think that was necessary to be 670 pages. Not because, like, they were boring, but it was sort of like, I felt like the 200 first pages was, I don't want to say it because spoiling, but they were sort of like unnecessary. If the book has been like 200 to 150 pages less, I would maybe have rated it 1 more star, honestly, because I just thought that there was so much not unnecessary plot, not unnecessary conversations. I just felt that the book was too long, that they sort of just dragged out, and it was like this sort of small annoying feeling that I really didn't like. So yeah. I also, like, even though the plot was interesting, and even though we like sort of went into this mystery about the killings and stuff, it didn't blow me away. like the results of the whole book. It wasn't like, wow, so the best thing I ever wrote, wow, not like the best feeling either. It was good, it wasn't bad, I didn't hate it, I just didn't blow me away, and it was like not in any way as good as the Infernal Devices. I mean, seriously, the Infernal Devices was amazing, and Lady Midnight cannot even compare to the Infernal Devices, I'm just saying. But it was really nice to see Cassie in this book, like the author, because I feel like from the first Mortal Instruments book she has grown a lot, and it's really nice to see, and I'm like feeling really good when reading her book, but I just couldn't rate it higher. So all in all, I actually, like, this book is written so you don't have to read the Mortal Instruments or the Infernal Devices to read it. At least that's what Cassie had said. I'm gonna comment on that in the spoiler section. I would recommend people to read it, but if I was gonna recommend someone a fantasy book, I was talking about someone with, like, I wouldn't say this is the first book you have to read. I would seriously just talk about another book, because even though I feel that's the only reason I'm feeling so strongly for this book is because I feel so connected to the Shadowhunter world, because I've been in it for a few years now, and like, yeah, I really love the world, and that's one of the things that makes me really about this book, even though, but I'm looking away from those feelings, and that's why I can rate it as low as I did. That was my general thoughts about it, and now we're gonna go into the spoiler section. I have a few things I want to talk about. I cannot talk about all the 670 pages. It's way too much, okay? So bye bye to you who haven't read it. Bye. Now we can talk about the few things, because the one thing I really liked about this book was the poem, okay? It was the Annabel Lee poem by Edgar Allan Poe. But like, I think that Cassie is a person who's read a lot. She likes to read, I guess. So I think she read the Edgar Allan poem before. But the poem itself fits so well to the Shadowhunter world. Like, the last 2 days, I've been obsessed with that poem. I'm telling you, I've been reading that poem, I've been writing it down, I've been reading through it, and I just think it's beautiful. And how she used that in the book, I loved it, okay? She sort of just based the whole story about why the killings, and like the whole thing about why he wanted to just resurrect Annabelle. She based that on that poem. Okay. Can we talk about a bit about Malcolm being the killer, because I did not expect that. I was expecting something more out of the whole killing thing. It disappointed me how it was introduced. Like, when they solved the problem, I was like, wow, that's it, it just wants to resurrect this love. Not that it's not a big deal, it killed a lot of people, but there was all the whole thing about the clan and the secret club and all that. It was like, it didn't get to me. I was like, this is a bit weird, this could be better, but I liked it even so. We finally got to know why Parvati, you know what I mean, is illegal, why it's not allowed to be in love, why it's not allowed to love each other and be together and get married while you're with your Parvati, blah 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 blah. Because of it, they said it was a curse, and that the powers go so strong and that they go so powerful, and then they all got mad and killed everyone they love or whatsoever. And I was like, seriously? Seriously? Because we all know that Cassie told us before this book come out that there's gonna be like love between, like, we're gonna find out why Parvati love is illegal, and that we're gonna see it firsthand between Emma and Julian, and we already knew that. We have been known that before the book come out. So I knew that Julian and Emma was gonna have a thing. I didn't know they were gonna have sex, and I was like, oh, because I shipped them, okay? I shipped them a lot. But I think they're gonna solve this whole Parvati problem. I know they are, because Cassie likes to have her people together, okay? We all know what Clays went through, and now they're getting married. Yeah, let's talk about that later, okay? We know that this is all in the Mortal Instruments world. I'm calling the Mortal Instruments world all the time. I'm in the Shadowrunner world. And she mentioned Clary and Jace and Oleg and Magnus. Magnus was even there, and Clary and Jace came in the end, and I was like, okay, but yeah, no, I'm sorry, no, because I liked how she, in the beginning, talked about Jason Clary really briefly and talked about them as sort of legends, sort of people far away. I like that she mentioned it because I would not like that she pretended like her previous characters didn't existed. That wouldn't be cool. I like that she mentioned them and that there were sort of like these legends who lived far away. Jace, the best shadow hunter in the whole world, and I was like, yeah, I know. But when she pulled them into the story, when they came in the end, I just felt it was unnecessary Monthly Instruments references. If I had not read the Monthly Instruments and I read Lady Midnight and they just, when they appeared in the end, I would be just like, who the heck are these people? Why are they here? Are they important to the plot? No, they were just like pushed in our faces for us to, for the people who read Monthly Instruments to like fangirl over. And I don't know, it made sense that Robert was there because he's the Inquisitor and his job is to find out what's going on, but I don't really understand why Jason Clary had to come, but it was sort of because they know Emma and they care about Emma, but I still felt they were sort of pushing us to get feels. And Jem and Tessa appeared, and it sort of made sense because they were looking for that Herondale dude. Herondale dude, guys! Either way, for people who read the Tales of Shadowhunter Academy, they already knew about the Lost Herondale, and I have not yet read those because I want to wait until I can have it on my hand, which I have to wait all the way to November, and it really annoys me book form before Lady Midnight. But what can I do about that? Nothing. So I think people already knew that Malik adopted those 2 kids, and let me just say, that is amazing. Good, because people who know me know that Malik is my OTP, guys. It's my OTP of OTP, and the fact that they adopted 2 kids is adorable. I'm just trembling around in my room here. I'm fangirling so hard. Kirian and Mark, okay. Like, I don't even know what to say about them because Kirian was sort of a douchebag. It was like, the stars have to go out before I forget you. There's nothing in this world between the sky and the ground and I don't love. The only thing I love is you. That killed me, man. So Kieran and Mark, like, they gave me so much feels. And I shipped them, okay? But I shipped Mark a bit for Christina too. I'm confused about my feelings. And Mark told Kirian that if he ever needed anything, he had to contact him if it was an emergency. And we all know that emergency is going to show up and that Kirian is going to come back and that Mark and Kirian is going to go off to the sunset together, right? Because is Mark going to be together with Christina? Because I think Christina is going to have with Diego, but I have this feeling that Diego is going to die. Or Christina would die. Christina was really cute, by the way. Blackthorn Children, my favorite was Livy. Is that how you say her name? I just loved her. She was adorable, and how she was with her brother Ty, they were so cute, and how she wanted to be his power body, and he was like, no, and I was like, and she was so cute, and I loved her. Okay, I loved her. I don't know. Okay. For the next book, like, Annabelle came back to life anyway in the ending, right? It was the last thing in the book, except for the short story. And I don't know what's gonna happen. There's gonna be a thing with Herondale and Emma. Oh, everyone is freaking out about Emma's decision to pretend to be together with Mark in the end to trick Julian so he doesn't love her anymore. But she's only trying to protect him because of the whole power body curse that Jem told her about. And I don't know. I'm not mad at her, actually. I understand her choices perfectly. I just don't understand why Mark would do something like that. But he wants to protect his brother. Like the Blackthorn Children, they want to protect each other over everything. And I honestly think I didn't get mad at Emma at all. It was sort of like something that was obvious gonna happen, because Cassie do this, okay? She takes out ships, she takes them together, she takes them apart, and then they come back together again. Like, it pains us, but I think it's gonna be fine, okay? Everything is gonna be fine. So the short story in the end was really cute. That is how I like to see the characters. I don't want the characters in Lady Midnight, not maybe until like the last book, until everything is resolved. I want Emotional Instruments, Infernal Devices characters, even though I think that the Infernal Devices characters had a better reason to be there than Emotional Instruments characters. In the end, like in the own short story, I liked that short story, but it wasn't like it didn't give me all the digits in the world. But Jace did propose to Clary. So they're getting married. When are they gonna have a baby, huh? I am actually looking a lot forward to the Last Hour series, which is a series that's gonna be based on the kids from Will and Tessa in the Dark Artifices, and I'm just let's just sum this up. I thought the conflict in the book was a bit weak. I thought the resolution, Emma's parents' death, could have been more. I don't know how I feel about this Annabelle. Is she gonna be the evil guy in the future? Like, okay. I still like the poem though. I like the poem a lot. And like the whole drama between Julian and Emma, I like that we see what the power about the romantic relationship on first hand. I like that we see that. But still, 90 Midnight, it's not a bad book, okay? Far from it. I have disliked other Cassandra Clare's books, but I did not dislike this one at all. I actually enjoyed this book. It was fun. It was entertaining. We got Mark and Kieran. Thank you for that, by the way. There's a lot of unresolved stuff. 2 more books to go. Have to wait. Don't like it. I liked it. I didn't love it. I loved parts of it. And a sort of like meh parts of it too. So that's why it's giving a 3.5 star rating. And I think that's all I have to say. So, have you read this book yet? What did you think? Please discuss with me. Like, please tell me what you thought about this book. Thank you so much for watching. Please tell me how is your day. Please tell me about Lady Midnight. Goodbye.